Now I wasn't even gonna touch this shit. Let's face it, 2014 was a shitty ass year compared to 2013 for the sport of boxing, right? We had some mismatches. Rod Selka versus Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao versus Chris Algieri. We saw fights that we really didn't want to see. Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. Then there was fights that were on the bill for this year that were canceled for, one reason or another that could have been big fights for this year, like Demetrius Andrade and Jermell Charlo. So I was going to let the experts do what they get paid to do, comprise a list, pick our 2014 fighter of the year, put it on websites, publish it, and let us as the consumer, search for it online and read in the info, right? But as I'm doing that, I'm searching websites, looking at different sources. I'm fucking blown back by some of these lists, man, that these so-called experts make up. Now, I'm not blown back by the picks as much as I'm blown back by where they place these picks on the list. Perfect example. Listen to this shit. One source had Floyd Mayweather number 2 on the list for fighter of the year. How the fuck is Floyd Mayweather the second best fighter of 2014? All he fought was Marcos Maidana twice. 2 fights that I saw were dominating somebody that wasn't on his fucking level. I understand why he took the rematch though, and it's because of these casual ass fans and these analysts in the sport that really aren't that good at the job that they have, right? They were over there saying that Floyd Mayweather had a draw in the first fight with Marcos Maidana, or he lost the first fight. Now I watched both fights thoroughly, and I can tell you that in the first fight I had Floyd Mayweather winning the fight 8-4, and that was being generous. And I would not argue with you if you agreed with Brian Kenny, who had the fight 9-3 for Floyd Mayweather, right? That's dominating, man. Now, it didn't look as good as Alexander did when he fought him, but that was a totally different Marcos Maidana for one thing. You know what I'm saying? And another, he still dominated. He still won majority of the fucking rounds. The fight was not close. But here's the issue, though. You see, people are so used to Floyd Mayweather not being hit. Casual fans that don't really like the sport for what it really is, the sweet science. They just like to see blood and guts and shit and spit and throw up, all the dumb shit, right? They just like to see that, right? So they don't appreciate what Floyd Mayweather does, but they know that he doesn't get hit much, right? So if you see him in the pocket getting hit a little more than he normally gets hit, they automatically jump the gun. Oh shit, he lost. It was a draw, which was complete bullshit. But see, Floyd Mayweather's looking at this. And he's like, oh shit, y'all thought I lost, huh? Business decision. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight him again, and I know you guys will pay to see me lose again, right? Business decision. Easy work, right? I understand why he took the first fight though. After Marcos Maidana beat Adrian Broner, I told a buddy of mine and my fiance, I told him, I said, Floyd Mayweather's gonna fight Marcos Maidana in May. Watch. Right after the fight, right after scorecards were announced for Marcos Maidana, I said this. Now count me as one of the people that did not believe in that dumbass poll that Mayweather put on his website between Amir Khan and Marcos Maidana. I firmly believed it was to keep you guys entertained. I knew that regardless of the winner, he was fighting Marcos Maidana because the storyline was there. Lil brother gets his ass mollywopped and big brother comes in to save him. It was a good story. It's a good business decision. Also, the same fans that hate Floyd Mayweather after Maidana dispatched of Adrian Broner, since Adrian Broner was being thoroughly compared to Floyd Mayweather, they put 2 and 2 together and was like, oh shit, if he did this to Broner, he could definitely do it to Mayweather, right? The fans again, man. And that's what led to it. That's what led to it. Now again, I will say this. Once again, the fucking same fans that were saying this, right? When Floyd Mayweather announced the fight, they're like, oh shit, no, man, fucking gay feather, gay weather, and Mayflower, all that dumb bitch ass elementary school bullshit that these motherfuckers come up with, right? Calling them all that, basically saying Maidana was too slow for him. But just right before the announcement of the fight, they were saying that Maidana can knock Mayweather out. I talked to a lot of people that were saying Maidana was going to knock Mayweather out, man. Right? These are the same fans that were saying the same shit with the Canelo Alvarez situation. Before he announced the fight with Canelo, oh, he's scared of Canelo. He would never fight Canelo. He don't want that action, right? He announces the fight. Oh, Canelo's too green. He hasn't fought anybody. He's not ready for a guy like Mayweather. The fuck out of here, man. But see, it's the motherfucking casual fans. That's why he took those 2 fights this year. Now, based on those 2 fights, he is definitely not Fighter of the Year, nor should he be close to Fighter of the Year at number 2. He's not even on the list. Another source had Miguel Cotto as our 2014 Fighter of the Year. And I'm like, how the fuck is that possible, man? Miguel Cotto fought one time. He fought one time. Granted, he beat Sergio Martinez, but he fought one fucking time, man. So now we reward guys with Fighter of the Year if they fight one day out of a 365-day calendar year. It's outrageous, man. Another source had a guy who's been dominating the light welterweight division in Terrence Crawford. They had him at number 4. Another source had Bernard Hopkins, even after taking a gruesome L against Sergey Kovalev, they had him honorable mention. Man, check this shit out, man. This is what we gonna do. Okay, we're gonna do this shit the right way. Basically, there's always new people that come into this sport of boxing, right? A collection of new people. You got new fans, you got new fighters, you got new trainers, you got new analysts, commentators, whatever. New people to the YTBC. I was one of the new guys to the YTBC this year of 2014, right? Just a little over a month ago. There's going to be another guy in 2015 or another collection of people, right? What these people are doing, they're going to these so-called experts and they're going to the YTBC. They're watching videos or reading websites. They're trying to gain information that they don't have, right? Or they're gaining information that they do have and comparing it to the knowledge that they have. Basically letting it manifest into a greater knowledge power for the sport of boxing. That way, if you're an analyst, you can make your predictions. You can, analyze fighting styles, whatever, right? So knowing that new people do this shit, I took it upon myself and basically said, I cannot let this bullshit, this propaganda that I saw online, be the only source of information for these new people, for these casual fans. You know what I'm saying? For these new analysts, new people that want to know boxing. Matter of fact, the videos I put up, I'm educating a good friend of mine with every video that I put up because he just got into boxing, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate. So one thing I noticed about these lists, if you're not signed to Top Rank, you're not signed to Golden Boy, you don't fight on HBO, you don't fight on Showtime, you don't have a massive fan base like Canelo Alvarez, then you're automatically ineligible for Fight of the Year. And that's complete bullshit. If you're a real boxing enthusiast, right, you know what's going on in the sport of boxing, period. Regardless of the fan base or what fights are being aired. You know what's going on, right? Those are the guys I want picking Fighter of the Year. You see what I'm saying? Those are the guys that I want the information getting out there to these new people. So, me being one of them, I said this shit, or I saw this shit, and I was like, you know what? I got to make a video. I got to do this shit myself. It takes a real boxing fanatic, a real boxing enthusiast, a real boxing fan to do this shit the right way. And that's what the fuck we about to do in this video. We gonna do it the right way, starting with honorable mention. Now, I had this a two-way tie. The first guy I mentioned is Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, if I'm listening to myself, right, I'm listening to my video and I hear this name, the first question that I would have for myself is, well, damn, Bernard Hopkins, he took a L this year, just like Lomachenko did. Why can't he be honorable mention ahead of Lomachenko, right? He's one of the best fighters in our era. It's a good argument. I'll get to that comparing their losses in a minute. But the one thing that I can say about Lomachenko that separates himself from Bernard Hopkins is that he picked up one of the 4 major sanctioning bodies, the WBO featherweight title, in just his 3rd pro fight. And he did it against a guy whose name was synonymous with the future of boxing. Now, it doesn't matter how you view Gary Russell Jr. You could be on either side of the field, right? You still his name was still synonymous with the future of boxing. You were either on side A that was like, yo, look at his hand speed, look at his moderate power, look how he's dispatching of these bums that he's fighting. I can tell by how he's fighting these bums that if he ever gets in the ring with the elite in his division, that he'll dominate them or he'll at least win the majority of his fights. He will be a future champion and he could be the future of boxing, right? Or you're on side B where you're like, yeah, his skills are tight and everything, but he's fighting nothing but bums. You know what I'm saying? And it's up in the air whether or not he will be able to hang in the ring with the elite in his division because the bums don't do him any justice. So, I mean, he may be a future champion or he could be the future of boxing. I don't know. It's up in the air right now. He needs to fight somebody more meaningful. Whichever way you thought of Gary Russell Jr., you still were wondering if he's the future. You know what I'm saying? Vasyl Lomachenko went in there and dominated him. Then on top of the domination, he picked up one of the four major sanctioning bodies and wrapped it around his waist in just his third pro fight. That is a major fucking feat, man. That's it's an excellent feat. Okay? In regards to him defending his title, remember, it's harder to defend your title than it is to gain one, right? You've heard that plenty of times. Well, he fought the guy Piria Peno, the Thailand cat that he fought on the undercard of the Manny Pacquiao Chris Algieri fight, right? Piria Peno is a C minus class fighter. He is. Let's face it. The thing is, though, he had like something like 54 wins and one loss. Dude has been around. You know what I'm saying? Um, the amateur ranks are a lot different than the pro ranks, and you'll see why this is a major topic of conversation when I show you who my pick for fighter of the year is. But it's totally different. You've got amateurs. This is what Lomachenko was known for. He's possibly one of the best amateur fighters of all time. His record is like 397 wins and one loss, right? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But there are amateurs out there that have successful amateur careers, turned pro and couldn't do shit. David Reed, he's one. Another one, Ali Harrison. You know what I'm saying? You can even win gold medal and won't do shit. Again, Ali Harrison, right? So, I mean, it's a totally different league. When he fought Gary Russell, a guy that a lot of people were saying is possibly the future of boxing or is the next big dog in that division at least, right? He could have had a mental issue. This was only his third pro fight. He could have went in there like, oh shit, Gary Russell's hands are too fast. Damn, the lights are too bright. I lost. Fuck it. And lost, right? Then in his first title defense against Piria Peno, a guy that was something like 54-1, he's like, oh shit, big time veteran. Damn, the lights are too bright. Fuck, I lost. You know what I'm saying? He could have did that. It's room for that to happen because he's still early in his professional career. But he did not do that in either fight. And that is a testament to how skillful this dude is. He fights like he's already a fucking veteran. Let's compare the losses, and I'll tell you why Bernard Hopkins cannot beat out Lomachenko for honorable mention. When Bernard took that big-ass L against Sergey Kovalev, right? Kovalev won 10 out of 12 rounds. Arguably 11 out of 12 rounds. Shit, some people said he won all 12 rounds. That's thorough domination. No contest. You feel me? No contest, right? Lomachenko, in just his second pro fight, he fights a guy that I will say is on the same level. Listen to me now. He fights a guy in Orlando Salido that is on the same level as Sergey Kovalev in their respective divisions. Now, I understand Orlando Salido has like 177 losses, you know what I'm saying? But the dude has beaten elite fighters in his division. He's taken dreams away from prospects by beating them. And he's also made elite fighters in his division look bad. Perfect example. His loss to Mikey Garcia, right? Getting his ass whooped, broke his nose, right? But before they waved the fight off, he started making Mikey Garcia look bad. So much so that a lot of respected opinions and respected experts out there, they were saying that they weren't sure how this fight was going to unfold if it would have kept going. So Orlando Salido is not a slouch. He's not a bum. I mean, he beat Lomachenko. That tells you something right there, right? Lomachenko went in there and lost a close decision in just his second pro fight, man. Just his second pro fight. Actually, in the later rounds, he hurt Salido a couple times. And I'm confident enough to say that if the fight was a 15-round fight, Lomachenko probably would have won that fight. And instead been putting a major sanctioning body around his waist after just his second pro fight. That's fucking phenomenal, man. That he kept the mental capacity to not fold. That's why he beats Bernard Hopkins this year for honorable mention. The guy I have tied with him is Miguel Cotto. Now, the reason why I did not put Miguel Cotto as our 2014 Fighter of the Year, like that bullshit ass source did, is because, granted, he did beat the reigning world recognized best middleweight in Sergio Martinez, right? But when he beat him, first of all, that title was argumentative. See, a lot of people, more people than you think, believe that Gennady Golovkin is the best middleweight in the world right now. And he has been for over 2 years, right? So was Sergio Martinez the same fighter that got him that title in the first place when he got in the ring with Miguel Cotto? Also, remember this. Not too long ago, Sergio Martinez was part of the Big Three. And when I say the Big Three, I mean Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Sergio Martinez, right? Those were respectfully 1, 2, and 3 on the pound for pound list for like 3 years, right? Also, Sergio Martinez was seen as a second guy aside from Manny Pacquiao by a lot of fans to be the one to knock Floyd Mayweather off his throne if they ever fought each other, right? That's how much popularity Sergio Martinez has. But the question is, since 2012, right, and he fought Miguel Cotto this year, has Sergio Martinez been that same fighter that got him all these accolades that I just said, right? All this publicity. Was he the same fighter before he fought Miguel Cotto? And my answer is hell the fuck no. I had dude losing to Martin Murray in Argentina, before he fought Miguel Cotto. Martin Murray traveled from the UK to Argentina. By the way, this Martin Murray is Gennady Golovkin's next opponent. That's an excellent fight. Can't wait to see it. But anyway, he traveled from the UK to Argentina, knocks Sergio Martinez down twice. He only got credited for one knockdown, but he knocked him down twice, right? And beat him in his hometown. I had Martin Murray winning by 3 points on my scorecard against Sergio Martinez. So, nevertheless, he gets the official decision, right? He takes like a 1 or 2 year layoff. I can't remember the exact length of time, but it's a long layoff. He has multiple surgeries on his knee, right? His first fight back this year, he decides to fight one of the best fighters in our era in Miguel Cotto with 2 fucking knee braces on. I mean, come the fuck on, man. You know what I'm saying? Now let me get this side tidbit in real quick. And I'm saying this because I want you to understand that Miguel Cotto was definitely not the same fighter he was. And I'm going to tell you what type of fighter I think he was before he fought Miguel Cotto. I've watched a lot of videos on the YTBC, a couple channels. People were basically saying that the win for Miguel Cotto wasn't surprising. Sergio Martinez was never that great of a fighter. He was overhyped, and basically the knee braces had no bearing on his footwork because he never had footwork to begin with. And I believe all of that is complete utter bullshit. Now, they're probably agreeing with me that Miguel Cotto shouldn't be #1 fighter of the year because they think his win against Sergio Martinez didn't really mean shit. But I'm saying it on a different note. Basically, Sergio Martinez, this motherfucker he knocked out Paul Williams, the most feared fighter in boxing, in 2 rounds. He fought him twice, and I had him winning the first fight. He was robbed of a decision in their first fight. So he said, fuck it, I'll rematch him. Rematches him, puts a fucking exclamation point on a knockout win in 2 rounds. How the fuck is he not elite? This is the same Paul Williams that I will confidently say that Floyd Mayweather did not want no fucking part of, man. When Paul Williams was a welterweight, he's 6'2", 147 pounds. This motherfucker's averaging like something like 90 punches per round, and he's doing it all from a distance with like an 81-inch reach or something like that. That would have been a horrible matchup for Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm not saying Paul Williams would have beat Floyd, but this is before Floyd had fought Oscar De La Hoya, beat Oscar De La Hoya, and became the king of boxing. This is before that. So if he would have took a risk in fighting Paul Williams, right, he probably wouldn't have been where he is today. Now, I'm not saying that I condone him not fighting Paul Williams. I really don't have an opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It didn't happen. But I will say that he was wary of that action. He was wary of it. And maybe that's why it didn't happen. But see, Sergio Martinez fights him, and he knocks him out in 2 rounds. Sergio Martinez was an elite fucking fighter. Then, in reference to him not having footwork, dude, that's how he got in and out on the inside and on the outside of Paul Williams, dude. That's how he got in and out, man. That's how he knocked him out with that straight, that overhand punch in 2010 in the second fight. He darted in and got on inside and landed an overhand punch. That's how he knocked him out. Sergio Martinez used to bounce around on his toes the whole fucking fight, man. Bounce around, do a lot of leaning on the shoulders and shit. He did that all the time. That was his game plan. That was the nucleus of his fight game, his footwork. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it in the Miguel Cotto fight. He was trying his hardest to stay away from Miguel Cotto. But multiple surgeries on his knee. He had 2 knee braces on, so his other knee was fucked up too. That's got to hamper your footwork. And you could tell. I mean, I felt so bad for him. I wanted to turn the fucking fight off, but I wanted to get that knowledge, so I kept watching, right? It was a horrible win for Miguel Cotto in terms of, I mean, it was a good win for him, but it was horrible in terms of trying to say that he's fighter of the year. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not a good win to put him there, right? But I will, you know, I can't reward him for fighting a guy that's been fading for 2 years before he fought him, and then comes in the ring crippled on top of that. I can't reward him for that. But I will give him honorable mention because he is the first Puerto Rican fighter to win titles in 4 different weight classes. That's an excellent feat, and it gains him honorable mention. But remember what I said in the beginning of this video. If a lot of different fights that were supposed to happen that were on the bill for 2014 would have happened, right? And the winner of that fight, depending on what fashion he won in, perfect example, Demetrius Andre versus Jamel Charlo. If that fight would have went down, let's say Andre won by knockout, I probably would have put him honorable mention over Miguel Cotto. Okay? So let's go ahead and move along. Let's get to the meat of this shit. The top 3 best fighters of 2014. I'll start with number 3. It's going to be Mr. Sergey Kovalev. Now, many will argue that Kovalev has done enough to pretty much get fighter of the year. And he has a case. That's why he's number 3, right? And if you watch my earlier videos, I've talked a lot about Sergey Kovalev, man, how he deserves all the accolades that he's getting over Adonis Stevenson right now. When you're doing fighter of the year, you have to look at the fights, how many fights they fought in that year, and the type of competition that they fought against. So let's look at his. This year he fought Cedric Agnew, a C-class fighter, knocked him out in the 7th round. Then he fights Blake Caparello, C- class fighter, knocks him out in the second round. He KO'd Cedric Agnew in the 7th. I think I said 2nd round, but he knocks Blake Caparello out in the 2nd round. And then he goes on to fight Bernard Hopkins, an A-class fighter, one of the best fighters in our era. He cruises to an easy unanimous decision against him. One judge had it 120 to 108. But the reason why he's number 3 is because Cedric Agnew and Blake Caparello. See, fighting Bernard Hopkins and beating him with ease, that puts him over honorable mention. It puts him on the list. But it's not enough to give him number 1. Now, for 2015, he's starting off great. He has a fight with Jean Pascal in March, another elite fighter in his division, right? If he goes on to beat Jean Pascal, and then the duck and cherry picking ass Adonis Stevenson stops fucking running, and he gets a fight with him, and he beats him in the same year, he will have a major case for fighter of the year for 2015. But for this year, the competition didn't really add up, so he gets number 3. We'll go to number two. And this is a guy that I said earlier that's been dominating the light welterweight division. And that's Terrence Crawford, man. This dude right here, remember his name. He is one of the rising stars in our sport of boxing. He's going to be around for a very long fucking time. Very smart fighter. Actually, he signed with Top Rank. And Bob Arum is talking about matching him up with Manny Pacquiao. And it's possibly a decision by Bob Arum to draw more money out of Terrence Crawford if he beats Manny Pacquiao. Because he has a very good chance of beating Manny Pacquiao, right? Also, they got motherfucking Jesse Vargas as one of the names in there. I hope to God that fight doesn't get made. But anyway, it's, Terrence Crawford is one of the guys that they're talking about. Right now, he is the the WBO light welterweight champion that he took off of Ricky Burns, right, earlier this year. Ricky Burns is no slouch, man. He had a grueling, I think it was a draw. I think it was a draw with Raimundo Beltran, or he won a decision, a close decision. I can't really remember, but it was a robbery. I had Raimundo Beltran winning that fight. But Ricky Burns is not a slouch. He's a B-class fighter, and Terrence Crawford beat him easily. Goes on to defend his title against Yuriorkis Gamboa, one of the most feared fighters in boxing today as well, right? When you say Yuriorkis Gamboa around Mikey Garcia, this motherfucker starts stuttering at the shoulders and shit. Like a wind chill hit him or something. He's one of the most feared fighters in boxing. Nobody wants to really fight him. Terrence Crawford stepped up to the plate and knocked him out in the 9th round. He's an A-class fighter. Then he goes on to defend his belt again against the guy that I said beat Ricky Burns but was robbed of a decision in the UK, Raimundo Beltran. And he beats him decisively. Easy work. No contest. He's also a B-class fighter, right? So his resume for 2014 is excellent, right? And he actually has a major case to be number one. So why did 2K to God put him at number 2, right? Because if you're a real boxing enthusiast, right, you're not just looking at the fights that are being aired, like I said earlier in the video. You're not just looking at the most popular fighters. You're going online, right, and you're looking up fighters whose fights are not being aired, who's not signed to those major promotional companies like Top Rank and Golden Boy, right, who don't have the publicity of, say, a Canelo Alvarez, right? Their fight's not even getting aired, so you have to read about what they did. You got to go on BoxRec and check out their record, who they just fought, things of that nature. And when you do that, you'll come across my number 1. And I put a big-ass question mark over his face because I want you guys to do your fucking homework, okay? He goes by the name of, and don't quote me, I might fuck his name up, Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue. That's his name. Now, this motherfucker was terrorizing the light flyweight division. Light flyweight, that means he's in one of them divisions that nobody fucking talks about, nobody really watches, right? That's under the radar. He took the route that Vasyl Lomachenko did, but he did it more impressively. Remember, Lomachenko has 1 loss, okay? This guy's record is 8 wins, 7 knockouts, no losses. But kind of like Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko has 1 major sanctioning body wrapped around his waist. This guy has already had 2. That's fucking ridiculous for someone with only 8 pro fights. He was in the light flyweight division, right? He started his career in 2012 at the light flyweight division. With a record of 5 wins and 4 knockouts, he steps up this year and fights Adrian Hernandez in the light flyweight division, right? A B-plus class fighter. Knocks him out in the 6th round and picks up his first major sanctioning body, the WBC light flyweight championship, in just 5 fights, right? Then he goes on to defend that title against Samartalek Kokietjim. He's a B-class fighter as well. Been around the block. Dude is very good, man. He's a Thai fighter. Very good fighter. Knocks him out in the 11th round, right? Then he moves up in weight yesterday. He moves up in weight and fights Omar Narvaez. Now, before I get into that, I want to tell you about Omar Narvaez. You might know who he is because he fought Nonito Donaire, right, in 2011. That was his only loss before yesterday. His record was 43 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 23 knockouts. Only loss was to Nonito Donaire back in 2011, right? What many of y'all don't know is that this dude has been dominating the junior bantamweight division for a long ass fucking time now. He moved up to bantamweight to fight Nonito Donaire. So Nonito Donaire was the bigger guy when he fought Narvaez, right? By the way, that fight went to a decision. He did not knock Narvaez out. Now Nonito Donaire was, I think, 2012. I don't remember. He was fighter of the year once, right? Motherfucking known for his that left hook, that knockout, that left hook that'll knock motherfuckers out in the blink of an eye, right? But he didn't knock the smaller Narvaez out. He beat him to a decision, right? Well, before he moved up to bantamweight, he was the WBO junior bantamweight champion, and he defended that title 3 times. Then he moves up to bantamweight, loses, but he keeps his junior bantamweight title and defends it for 8 more times before losing it finally yesterday. Right? So that's a total of 11 title defenses of the junior bantamweight title. But check this out, though. I'm not done. Before he got the junior bantamweight title, he was the WBO flyweight champion, and he defended that 17 times. 1-7. Omar Narvaez was a champion since 2002 to yesterday. That's over a decade. That's 12 fucking years that he had at least one belt wrapped around his waist constantly, consistently for over a decade. Now I'm gonna tell you a little secret. At one point on my pound for pound list, because I follow every facet of boxing, I don't just watch what's being aired and follow the popular fighters, right? I had Omar Narvaez at number 6 on my pound for pound list because he was dominating 2 fucking divisions, man. 2 lower weight classes. He dominated both of them, right? Let's talk about Inoue real quick. He knocks Omar Narvaez out yesterday in the 2nd round like it wasn't shit. Remember, I told you, our old fighter of the year, Nonito Donaire, he fought Narvaez and was bigger than him and couldn't knock him out. Inoue is smaller than Narvaez. Inoue moved up in weight and knocks out the bigger Narvaez, something that nobody's been able to do in fucking 46 fights. Nobody's been able to do that to Narvaez in 46 fights. But fight number 47, it finally happens to a smaller guy that only has 7 wins on his professional record. That is fucking phenomenal, man. That is phenomenal. More tidbits on Inoue. And this goes into what I was talking about Lomachenko, about being, a dominant amateur prospect, but being trash in the pro ranks. This is opposite for Inoue. Inoue didn't even make it to the Olympics. He lost in the final round of the Olympic qualifier in Asia. Then he goes pro and he's fucking dominating. This is an easy pick for fighter of the year if you follow boxing the way you're supposed to be, right? The way you're supposed to. Easy pick for fighter of the year. So now you got a guy with 8 wins, 7 knockouts, and he's already a 2-time, 2-division world champion. Fucking phenomenal. Naoya Inoue, 2014 fighter of the year. What do you guys think? What are you guys picks for 2014 fighter of the year? Let me know in the comment section. Do what you do, but be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.